Okay, here I am going live, getting ready to go with Scooby outside. So I'm just going to start with my moisturizer. This is probably going to be very boring to people. Never done it live this way. So I'm just taking a little bit of that and putting it on my face. A little bit seems to go quite a long way of this stuff. It was a gift, so I don't know where to get it. I went looking it up online. It's not very expensive, and there's a few different kinds of it. I don't know if it's just different scents or they do different things, but I find this is very much like my Oil- Olay Super Serum. It has that sort of serum quality, very moisturizing, gets absorbed into the skin, highly moisturizing. So I find that really nice. The scent is quite subtle, but it is there. And I put that on and then I let that absorb into the skin while I choose other things that I want to do. So I think I'm just going to take my basic um, Revolution Reloaded basic matte palette. That's what this is. And at some point, I'm going to have to get another one because I really do use a lot of these products or a lot of these different options, and some more than others, of course. So now I'm going to have to use up these other ones, and that's okay. That's what I'm going to do. Uh, I ran out of my um, NYX face glue, so I only have my pore filler, which I have an extra one after this. But it really kind of crumble. I don't know if I can show it, but it really kind of crumbles off of there because it's sort of like it's just this very interesting sort of texture. But for me, it's my nose that have the biggest pores. So that's where I want to make sure I get this product on. It's very smooth and sort of slippery. It, they all feel very nice on the skin. So that's it for putting those things on. Those are the basics. And so it's good when you want to be your basic. So I'm trying to make, since I got the tooth pulled out, I'm able to put the teeth back in my mouth, missing the one where it was just kind of pulled. But they're not designed to fit in this face, so they're not really there. Hey, hi, said hi. It's my eyes are not reading this. I'm sorry. So it's Emma. Is that Emma? Hi, Emma. And Eve Triskova. Hello. I've never done a live like this before, so I'm just getting ready to go out and take Scooby out with me and everything else. So I thought, well, I don't really have any room on my computer to edit things right now. So I thought, well, let's see what a live is like. So I am taking my basic mats and I'm just going to, maybe this one, because I don't ever really use this much, try and use up the colors that I haven't used. And I'm trying to use my screen to put this on, which is very, very small. So I can't really see detail very well. So I'm just going to hope for the best. But that's really all I do. I just take something pretty simple like this and just kind of get it into this basic area into here. Should have started with my eyebrows. I might go back to those. But yeah, I'm just dipping into this, which is actually a cool tone, kind of like a contour. So it kind of puts like a little bit of a shadow in, and puts a bit of a recession to those eyes at the sides. Not very exciting. I should probably put music on or something in the background. I learn as I go and I make a lot of mistakes. I always learn best from my mistakes. If something turns out right the first time, it's usually an accident, and then I don't know why it turned out, and then I have trouble duplicating that ever again in the future. So I think what I'm going to do, because I need a frame for my eyes, is go in with my NYX lift and snatch. I think everything's backwards on this. But anyways, it's my lift and snatch. And I'm going to try and do this in this tiny, tiny little screen. And see. If it doesn't work, I'm going to have to pull out the mirror. Actually, I think I'm going to have to pull out the mirror. Let's see. Can I do it this way one-handed? This is the day to experiment, I think. So let's see. Can I do it this way? Oh, yeah, that works. Yeah. Then I can sort of get two different sort of angles at this. There we're just starting to fill that in. These took me a while to get used to using because with the liquid, it's like I tend to have a very heavy hand when I'm doing things. So I had to learn to be a lot lighter in my application of things. And that was very good practice for me, trying to do something that way, because it's not what I normally do. I don't normally care. Trying to do details, being finicky, it's not my forte. I'm more of a just slap it on and get it to work kind of person. And it's always good to find ways to do that and practice and improve on the skills where we might not have the patience. Because patience is not my forte, but it can be a learned sort of skill. I think I did that a little, but that's okay. And it's important, I think, to always improve our skills. Oh, I'm getting a little heavy-handed again. I get a little impatient. And that's just the facts that I have to deal with. They are approximating each other enough for my liking. So off I go to finish this stuff. Okay, back to this palette, because now I want to put the highlight under the brow. So I'm running out of things. This was my favorite choice. This isn't a bad choice. So I'm just going to go in here with this little brush here, and I just pop that under here, mostly on the arch. And do the same thing on the other side. And that's just the little highlight on the brow bone. Mm-hmm. And that way I have a little bit of the contour. I hope this isn't too loud when I'm up there talking to people. Like I said, I really have no idea how this comes across. I should have cleaned up more of the area in the back, but I've been styling a wig and doing other things, and I just can't be bothered moving things in and out of my way, so I keep them in my way till I'm done with them. And then I put them away, and then I realize I forgot something. I have to dig them out again anyway to finish it off. It's a process. I try to avoid a lot of that, but things still happen. I am a fallible human being, and I'm okay with that. Okay, so now I'm going to go in. Oh, I need a smaller brush. So I'm going to go in with, this kind of brush here. And these brushes are really old. It's a natural hair bristle brush. And natural hair bristles are not as good for certain things with makeup as others. Question: how did you find the stream? What stream? How do I try it? Okay, let's try it. Oh, no, I can't try it. It's gone. I don't notice things. Excuse me. So I'm going to go in with a deeper color here. So I'm going to take, this one down in here. It's tried and true, so I like that. And I put that here in the corner, like that. Right? Just gives a little extra dimension as opposed to this eye. That's all we're doing. And one could be as dramatic or as subtle as one wants to be with this. So if you do it very subtly, you'll just get this slight enhancement effect, slightly change and define your eyes, right? But this is pretty intense. Like I'm using pretty intense, noticeable colors in here. And even that doesn't end up looking too extreme. Although I'm not a good judge of what's extreme because I think glitter is perfectly normal. So you have to judge these things on your own. But I'm going to take now the fluffy brush again. Fluffy brush, which I don't use for anything other than blending. Right? And then that way you just smooth everything together. And just kind of get that blended a little bit there. Right? That's how we have it. Like I said, it's very, very horrible lighting back and forth here. Oh, hello there. As I'm having trouble reading, I'm sorry. Is it Jason? Jace on VR? Jazz on VR? I really hate getting things wrong that way, but I'm barely able to read those letters. But I thank you for joining us. I've never done this live before, so I don't even know how long this is going to take me. I've spent over 12 minutes already. Quite often I'm halfway done by now, but we are where we're at. So that's okay. So that's my basic thing right there. And then I can go in with my, I should go in with my, I'm going to go in with my, there we go. Finishing the sentence. But this is my e.l.f. Camo Concealer in Light Peach, which is my favorite tone for me personally. And I think I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to dot it this way. Sometimes I'll take a brush and then paint it where I want, but I'm just going to put a bit here and here and down the middle of my nose. Boop. A little bit up here. And then I'm going to go in with my little finger sponge, which I find very handy for me to get into tinier little areas like here. Because otherwise I just have like really big sort of chunky fingers. And that is not useful to me. But I'm just trying to get a bit of brightness here in the center of my face. I'm hoping to get those things on my forehead blended in before I have striped lines drawing on my face, which can also happen. And then, you just deal with it the way it is. Much like golf, you have to kind of play it where it lies. Not that I'm a golfer, but I did have at one point, I'm not even going to say the golf course because it's quite a famous golf course in Canada. They have tours and things. It's very prominent, but my father, who was a bank manager, had got like a family membership with his job, little perks of the job, when you realize there are benefits for certain people that have certain jobs in the world. But I got to benefit from that by going and playing on this golf course, me and my friends. My friends were never banned from it, but I got banned from it. because I, at that time at least, back in the 80s, held the record for the biggest divot in that golf course's history. They even made an embarrassing award for me. But to this day, I'm quite proud of that because it's not like it's something I set out to do. It was just an actual bonus of my inability to play golf. Now, I'm a little better now. I don't take divots. I do find it sort of an enjoyable pastime, but for the most part, not my favorite way. I'd rather just go out for a walk in the wilderness or something than go play rounds of golf in a relatively boring golf course. But each to their own, and I certainly don't knock it. It's just not my favorite thing to do, but I can play it with people if I want to spend time with them and that's what they want to do. And that's all that matters. You want to be versatile enough to not necessarily have to sit out of things, but you want to be able to pick and choose the things that make you happiest. So I find, the more you know, the more options you have. So I'm just going to blend that in a little bit with this. I don't have to worry too much because I still have to put on my BB cream, which is like my foundation. But what I like about the BB cream is it's not as full coverage. And when you have the lines and wrinkles that I do at the age of 60, one definitely wants to use lighter things and not overlap a lot of your things. You want to just put on what you need, where you need it, and no more than you need. So there I have my BB cream, which actually is just a light to medium. And it won't, like I said, it won't cover everything, but it blends all my little discolored freckle spots because my skin is so pale. And my freckles can be so deep that I just find this is a really useful product for just kind of making it all mesh together in a way that's harmonious. And that can be, very effective. Now, it's also not a real dewy kind of product. When it's dry, it dries fairly matte, but not like dry powdery matte, if that makes any sense. I've tried a few different things. I do the Rimmel BB cream is both the least expensive that I have found that does a good job and feels nice on the skin and seems moisturizing. Some things I put on feel really dry. And that's not necessarily what you want. Oh, Scooby's making sounds in his sleep. I don't know if they pick up on the camera, but it's really cute. And then whatever's left on my hands, I just blend into the back of my hands. So that way it matches my face, to which I usually go, and that's it. It's just the basic. And I'm really hoping that I'm seeing well enough in this little screen to make sure I haven't missed anything. I'm not a perfectionist, so people that are can watch me and absolutely cringe. People who have fragile masculinities can watch me and absolutely cringe. I really don't care. The day that my masculinity or femininity or any inity is so fragile and weak that it changes because a little different pigment goes on my skin, are you blasting 6G in the quad, bro? I don't even know what that means. What does that even mean? I understand the words. Are you blasting? I'm assuming blasting is a positive thing. 6G, I don't know 6G. I know 5G. My phone's in 5G. I know quads. Quads is like a quarter of something. isn't it? Or just a subdivision. Could be, that's like a quad in like university. I'm long past university. But thank you, David, for the questions. Oh, I must say, I do like a good non sequitur, so I really appreciate that. That's really cool. I'm really enjoying this, being able to interact while I'm doing this. That's kind of new. It's kind of fun. I think this is going to be boring for everybody watching, but I'm having the best time. So I really appreciate people helping me figure out this aspect of YouTube. I'm very, very slow at my tech knowledge. I did study a bit of it in school when I was, realizing that computers were the way of the future. So this is like going back a while. Zippy the Pinhead. Okay. I don't know Zippy. I know Pinhead from Hellraiser, if there's any relation. But I did study a little bit of computers in school. And at that time, I'd never even been on a computer. So that was kind of funny. A cartoon, I will look that up. Thank you. So I went to study this. Very first day of class, there were only 16 of us. We had to compete. There was like a few thousand of us competing for these openings in this course. And it was a special program to train people in things that they didn't have experience in yet. So it was a really interesting government program that I wanted to take advantage of. Free education, always good. So I went to class, like I competed, you had to compete. There was a whole rigmarole to get in, testing and stuff. And there were only 16 openings and only 15 of us actually qualified out of I do believe it was about 600 to 800 people that had applied, but I could be wrong. He very well might have. I don't know, but that only just makes him better. I guarantee it. I am absolutely better now than I was in my 20s, 30s, and 40s in every conceivable way. So people can say what they want. It doesn't affect me. Thank you, I think. What a voice. I appreciate that. It sounds like a compliment. Mungo Lloyd. Now, I'm hoping that's meant to be like a positive thing. But it's okay. I'll think of it like Mungo, Jerry, and Rumpelteazer, like cats. Thank you. I am so glad. And it's really kind of ironic. I'm not a big fan of my own voice, but that's kind of common for people. The difference is before my voice changed, and I hit puberty pretty early. So at 6'3", and yeah, I've had this voice for a long time. And I used to be descant soprano. Devo. Devo's awesome. Nice and rebellious Devo. But I ended up, when my voice changed, going from where I would sing all the really higher than a soprano, those little choir boys in church singing really high like an angel. That was me. Then my voice changed and it went to this low thing. And I suddenly couldn't sing the way I wanted to sing, the way I'm used to singing. And it was a really, thank you very much. I have no idea how to get into that, but I do a little bit. I tried to give a voice to my dog, Scooby, and then we do little videos with him, and I'm trying to learn the process. I've been teaching myself Resolve, so all of my editing is done on Resolve, where I just taught myself, because it's a very interesting program that's available to the public that can do so many things. Now, I was looking for something. I always hate when I forget what I'm doing. Oh, yes. I need my coal liner. So I really do enjoy this Lancome in black coffee so much that I've been looking for them, couldn't find them, went into a store, found one. So I do have a backup for when this one is done. And then that probably will last me a lifetime. Well, thank you. Thank you, Gus. You are fabulous too. I am absolutely sure. Now, can I put this on looking at the teeny weeny little screen in front of me? I apologize for the close-up horror wrinkles that I am going to be thrusting in your face. Oh, great. My eyes are watering now. Oh, well, they'll go away. And then I do a little bit, probably went a little high. But the nice thing about a kohl liner is if you get to it before it dries, where's a good little smudgy one? Well, I'll just take this one. But I can go and just kind of smudge that along there a little bit. It's a little more forgiving than a liquid liner. And that's a good thing when you are me. I am not precise. Sometimes my hands will jitter. Just all kinds of things can happen. And you cannot be a perfectionist. You just turned 65. Yes, congratulations. That is awesome. It is. Like, I don't get where people think that elderly is old or slow. I don't use the word elderly myself. If people do, that's fine. I will take advantage of the resources if they're available to me because I've earned them. But otherwise, it's not something that I use to think of myself. I am unlimited. Like in, what is it, in Wicked? Unlimited. Together we're unlimited. Together we'll be the greatest team there's ever been. Hey, yes, you are. And I think knowledge is important. I remember my parents and that generation, looking back at their pictures, it's like by the time they were 30, they looked old. And the people I know just don't look that way at the, not that age, but that age and way beyond. Like, I don't look as old as my parents did in their 30s while I'm 60. It's just different. Now, I don't think it's because of stress, because my parents weren't under more stress than people are now. It's different stress. When I was younger, there was all kinds of, homophobia, and it was a mental illness, and it was against the law. Before that, it was illegal for women to wear pants. Like, there's just been all kinds of nonsense all through history that doesn't make any sense to me personally. But if that's what people do, then that's what people do. Oh my goodness, I'm going to be using my liquid. This always scares me because I don't do this right. All the gay. Of course, there's so much gay. 60 years of concentrated gay. So thank you. I appreciate that you notice. It's certainly not easy, especially nowadays when, you have ignorance running rampant and misinformation and lack of education. It's important. It's more important than ever for everybody to be themselves, whatever that may be. I don't even mind people being, what is this? Yes, we are all fighters. Every single one of us who has survived life is a fighter. You don't get here by just sliding through unless you remain unnoticed. And being unnoticed is not my forte. I do. I put myself out there all the time. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the compliment. I have done a little bit, again, all volunteer and things. I've done a little paid acting in my lifetime, but again, I don't pursue things so much as seize experiences and opportunities when they present themselves to me, because I don't know exactly what I want to be doing specifically. I have vague ideas, but being as I haven't done them, I don't know. I might get in there and go, oh, I don't like this. So I don't like to put all my irons in one fire or all my eggs in one basket or whatever analogy works for you. But I do like to keep my options open. And I do like to, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, I guess just be ready and prepared at any moment to seize an opportunity that presents itself. That's what happened to me last year when I did drag for the first time. I never thought that's something I would ever want to do. Despite the fact that I've been a hairstylist for years, I learned a little bit about makeup. I like to sew and like all of these things. And people around me would say, so when are you going to do drag? And I'm like, I'm not a drag queen. Why would I even think about that? And then one day I was like, why am I not a drag queen? Like, why could I not go and do that? I've performed, I've done this, I could have fun doing that, but it had never occurred to me in my life to really do this. I had one experience when people had dared me to a long time ago that was really good. But again, I wasn't a drag queen. I was fulfilling a dare that somebody did. So, or somebody presented me. Oh, I love to play the villain. Oh, villains are always the most interesting characters. Heroes are cool and all, but, without a good villain for a hero to, play off of, it's really not very interesting. But I do love a good villain like Ursula. Poor unfortunate souls, yes. Well, I'm still working on it. I'm still working on finding my true purpose. And, so far I'm really enjoying learning about YouTube. For 10 years, this has just been my scrapbook. I just put up bits of my life. So I can remember. My mother had Alzheimer's and, she doesn't remember a lot, or, well, now she's passed, but she didn't remember a lot of things that were fundamental to her makeup. All of her religion, everything just disappeared right out of her head one day. And it was just kind of weird for us. Not that my mother was, in your face religious, but it was just a grounding for her. So when that disappeared, it was just a very weird circumstance. Hey, Chicago, nice to see you. And it was just this odd thing. So I went, well, I'm going to put this stuff up here because the things that I do, if I suddenly forget I did them, nobody's going to convince me that this was me. So then people can just pull up whatever I've put up on YouTube and go, see, you, regardless of what I remember or don't remember. And I think that's kind of cool. But for 10 years, I just put my things up there. Everything's public. I have nothing to hide. It's just like a public scrapbook. And then 10 years later, I was doing something and somebody had sent me a message saying, congratulations on your 1,000 subscribers. And 1,000 subscribers. I wasn't even paying attention to anything like that. As far as I knew, I had 0 subscribers. For 10 years, 0 subscribers. Never expected to get a subscriber. So when it happened, I was like, oh my goodness, what do I do with this? So I just started speaking to people to the best of my ability and found that I really like the engagement with people. Because I put that on at the end. I never wear a shirt when I'm at home doing things. It's really very easy. Why would I want to get makeup all over whatever shirt I'm going to be wearing later in the day? Oh, thank you. I never spend that much time on the phone, but you got my attention. Reported as what? There's nothing to report. Unless you're just telling on yourself. Now, I don't know what color. I think maybe I'll just stick a little of this blue palette here. It's Lauren Loop, whoever that is. I found it one day and I just kind of liked the blues that were in it. I forget what I was even saying now. I got so distracted by the the person thinking that my being shirtless is something report worthy. I'm not even a thirst trap, for goodness sake. I'm just going to put a little of that in the center here. So I'm just using this little bright thing here. And it's not going to really show a lot. It's a little bit of a reflective or a little bit of a sheen to it. And that's pretty much it. That's all I really have to do. I'm not going whole hog today. No, I'm not Gladys Kravitz. I'm Gladys from Weapons. That's who I am. I'm Gladys from that. Way cooler character. I'd have to be nosy to be Gladys Kravitz. I just don't give two hoots. It just gets funny. Everyone has all these opinions and none of them affect me at all because I know who I am. But it is sweet knowing that I will never be as unhappy as these people. Happy people don't go online and do things like that. It's just funny. But anyway, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. And gosh, I can't believe I've been doing this for almost 40 minutes now, but I do have to keep moving. So until the next time, as always, oh, I do love lobster. I'm from the Maritimes. So anyway, thank you so much and have a wonderful day, each and every one of you. I care deeply about you all. Now I have to figure out, how do I turn this off? Is it here?